On today's episode of Pathmonk Presents, I've got a very special guest with me joining today. Please welcome Paul. He is the VP of Strategic Growth and Global Partnerships at Rekor. So for all of you who don't know, they are a trusted global authority on intelligent infrastructure, and they provide innovative solutions that drive the world to a more safer, greener, and more efficient way. So Paul, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. I'm really looking forward to hearing more about your growth story, what you're doing within Rekor Systems, and overall just hearing what you guys are doing within the market, and overall how you guys are thought leaders and key players. So thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So for all of our listeners out there, give us an insight. What does Rekor Systems do overall? And essentially, who are your clients, and how do you potentially help your clients with whatever they need?
Yes, so Rekor is really a cutting edge company that's trying to really change the way we're looking at transportation by bringing in the power of AI and data for a variety of different applications within the transportation world. Today, when you think about it, there's been a lot of legacy systems in a lot of ways that the transportation world has been running, and through the use of our technology, we're helping agencies gain better grasp on what's happening on the roadway through what we call roadway intelligence, really the true understanding of the insights on the roadway from a combination of our own proprietary technology as well as data from a variety of third-party providers out there. And all of that made into actionable use cases for agencies, from transportation management groups at state DOTs to cities, counties, MPOs, law enforcement agencies, and so on.
Wow, thanks for giving us an insight. It's really great what you guys are doing overall. So in terms of your clients, who would you say are your clients? Are we mainly talking, government and agencies, or do you tend to be industry agnostic?
No, yeah, our primary focus has been government and agencies focused around transportation. There are some private sector work that we're doing, but I'm not going to really dive into that today. But in terms of the work that we're focusing on is anybody that really works with the transportation world. What we find is there is a significant need for interconnectivity that goes beyond just the state DOT, which is the Department of Transportation that manages the state roadways out there. It goes into all the different local agencies from cities, counties, metropolitan planning organizations, MPOs are called, or transit authorities, the buses out there. All those are basically the government bodies that are helping work on your roadways today to make sure that you can get from point A to point B the fastest, most efficient, and safest way possible. And all those are beneficiaries of our technology today.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of how your clients typically find you then, because this, with working with mainly governments and agencies, this is really, relationship-based, partnership-based, but also as well as from word of mouth. So how would you say your clients typically find you then? Do you mainly conduct, direct outreaches and conferences as well as partnerships, or would you say it's a mix of a lot of things currently?
Yeah, a mix of a lot of things. Working with governments is its complete different beast for sure. You're first of all bound by government procurement. So that puts you in a position where you've got to figure out how to get your product in their hands and get contracts signed. So it can be anything from going through the RFP process, request for proposals, all the way to, potentially some unsolicited bids, as well as a lot of partnership opportunities out there. So there really is not one single pathway forward with any of these agencies. But one thing that's really key is we've developed a lot of work around the ability to both do a lot of outreach to educate. It's really key that these agencies and government entities have the best knowledge at their hands as quickly as possible about the technology that's available out there. When you think about the work that you need to do to be able to get something purchased for government agencies, it may take 2 to 3 years until you see it to fruition. And throughout that process, they're going to go through a lot of phases of evaluation and knowledge creation of understanding what's actually out there on the market. So it's really key for them to be fully aware of the latest and greatest, that they get the right metrics and KPIs to help them support their decision making, because going down the path of purchasing new technology is really key for them to understand that there's a benefit for them, that they see that it's not just the cutting edge sometimes is a little, when it's too innovative, you got to watch out for it not to be something that is too pie in the sky, but something that really brings down to changing the way that they do work today to help improve what they're doing out there. So a lot of outreach, a lot of working out, getting to know these contacts, direct presentations, meeting at conferences for sure. But one thing that's really key is actually partnering with these agencies beyond the initial sale process. When we work with any government agencies as a client of ours, there's a consultative approach of understanding what their needs are and how we can help support them. But once they are also clients of ours, we're really looking to help showcase their success to the industry. Not only us, but they become thought leaders and inspiration for other agencies who look at peers within this small, basically, industry to be able to actually learn what to do, what's available out there, and how to best put things in practice out there. Peer exchange and case studies and the ability to showcase that is really a key component of making sure that your technology is successful within the government world and make sure that it can be replicated significantly out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of with staying up to date and, with, the industry insights for our audience out there, can they be able to go to your website and be able to see more of this as well to stay up to date within, this industry? Since it's very niche driven and you guys are key players. Does the website offer, any customer stories or further assistance to be able to allow them to dive deeper into this?
Yeah, for sure. So we have a terrific marketing team that has put a lot of work in really creating, actually, I think it was launched about a couple months ago, our brand new website, which has been showcasing our products in the new formats that they're in and the new names, as well as the case studies and offerings out there. Our resource page and the resources that we've created have been a tremendous asset, not only to our own teams internally to be able to do the necessary outreach, but also bringing the inbound work out there. The inbound is, as we said, it has to do a lot with not just trying to create leads and generate leads as much as we're just trying to make sure that there's a knowledge and education out there. When we're being brought in to speak at an agency and educate them about what the capabilities of AI are within the transportation world, they're looking at our case studies and our partnerships with a variety of different thought leaders within this world to be able to translate that into something that is really actionable for them.
Amazing. Thanks for giving us an insight and elaborating more on the resources and where our audience can be able to go to learn more and dive deeper, not only into what the solution you guys have provided, but also within the industry to stay up to date. So now we're going to switch gears here and we're going to talk about you as a leader. So within your role and with being the VP of Strategic Growth and Global Partnerships, what does an average day look like for you? Give us an insight.
Yeah, no. So my role kind of spans across different areas in the organization. It's kind of an interesting position to be in because I work with both, our sales groups, our product teams, as well as a lot of different groups within Rekor. When it's not putting out fires, a big part of what I'm trying to do is really help guide the direction of where our teams are going to be going to next. How do we help find the right fit for our product and technology within this industry? We have an industry that is constantly changing, and what we've got to make sure is that we ride the excitement and the interest from the clients without falling into the pitfalls of the hype that can sometimes come into advanced technologies, especially in the places like state DOTs and transportations. There's been a lot of excitement around different areas. If it can go from autonomous vehicles to electric vehicles to data to blockchain, all these different aspects at different phases. And it's really important that we know how to navigate this and stay as focused as we are to make sure that we get to deliver the most important, which is actually something that is beneficial for the clients and, more importantly, beneficial for the end users on the roadways today. So a big part of my work has to focus on bringing all these pieces together and making sure that all of these parties are communicating in the most effective manner and listening basically to the heartbeat of the industry to make sure that it aligns correctly, so we find our right fit as well as tackle the right value that is necessary today.
Yeah, absolutely. So now with being up to date in the industry and essentially having your hand on the pulse of where it's going, how do you stay up to date overall? Where do you go to learn and grow to be able to, lead the team and to make sure, you're able to position, the solutions as, key players in the market overall?
That's honestly an interesting question because it has changed a lot throughout, COVID and post-COVID. We were a heavy in-person type of industry. I was traveling a lot. We would be a lot on the planes, meeting with our clients constantly, listening to their needs and what their issues are. Conferences are really key. There's some great organizations that we're part of that are advocacy organizations for what we call the intelligent transportation systems. And over here, we hear a lot of what the best and the greatest is out there. So it took a obviously a significant dip over the last few years, but I would say 2023 has already been a pretty successful year where we're seeing a lot of in-person work that's happening both at a conference / trade show approach and world, all the way down to some of these thought leadership workshops that are really happening, especially at the federal level in DC, where we're working closely with our federal partners and our state local entities that are actually working to solve these issues for the US as a whole. The beauty of it is our industry is, even though, people sometimes say transportation or, government transportation, all this can be, especially in the US, feel like it's outdated and has some significant issues that they need to overcome. You cannot ignore the passion that these people have in the work that they're doing. And every single person that we work with from any single state, from the small Midwestern states to the large, big, coastal states in the US, all have a significant passion of making the roadways better and safer, more efficient for the roadway users today. And they're all really excited about advancing this technology from ourselves and a variety of our partners that we're always happy to work with and learn more from. And they're a great source of inspiration on what to do, what they're hearing, what their needs are, what has not worked, what has worked, what they want to double down on, and so on.
That's really inspiring as well. Like seeing, like, even though, as you're elaborating, where people think that, with the infrastructure and, how the roads are, but it's so motivating to know, okay, like ultimately the goal is like to make not only safer, but to advance the technology to compound to where, we're able to be more progressive in society. So I think it's really, really great what you guys are like focusing on, especially working with your federal partners from, as you mentioned, like the big coastal states, the small with Midwestern states, as well as in the capital. That's a really huge thing because you're being able to cover like nationwide and really see like how can we provide solutions across these different blockages across the country. So it's really great what you guys are doing.
And it's just really important to see, things, not everybody's the same, that's for sure. And we know that, and each have their own issues. One thing that we're dealing with right now, which is an interesting one, is the changes in gas tax policy, things that are happening along those lines because of the implications of increased EV electric vehicles, especially on the western side of the US, where, not paying gas tax, you're not, contributing to your share of the roadway. So how are you charging these vehicles to make sure that they are paying their fair share for the roadway maintenance, which is basically how you pay for the DOT. All these concepts are really interesting. And you can see areas where you don't have the same density of electric vehicles listening to what's happening over there, and vice versa, where you're having the other ones looking at safety concerns that might be happening in more southern states today that might be affecting them. Really, it's important to understand that it really is one big team of leaders that are really trying to learn from each other.
Yeah, absolutely. So with adding on to that, with being in this industry for so many years, what is advice that you can give for anyone who, works in this industry overall? Is there anything that you would have done differently when you first started in this industry?
What I've done different, I've done a lot of things I would have done differently. I've been in the tech world and the startup world for a long time. Transportation and government has been something that has been pretty new for me. So I've learned through a lot of mistakes over the years, but I'm glad to say that each one of them was really great learning opportunity. I would say the thing single-handedly that I always try to preach to any of our partners or colleagues or friends from different organizations who, especially the young, really cutting-edge startups that are really pre-seed or seed phase that are trying to figure out a way to survive the procurement process long enough to be able to actually get a contract that will help them grow, is don't believe that you have a solution without listening to what the need is for the agency. One thing that we happen a lot of times is we see a lot of these companies come to the market saying, we have a solution for you. We know how to solve for X by doing Y. And what happens is that you're not listening to the need, the basic need out there. All these government agencies are, as we said, the resources are overstretched, and they have a lot of folks that are just, they have a list of priorities today. And based on what their priorities are, they might not get to that last, I'm not going to give an example, but something that's going to be really minute, or something that's going to be, that'd be really nice to have if we had a surplus in budget and too many people that we don't, have the time to do. They have to focus on what is first. If it's making sure that the roads are usable and the potholes are filled, to making sure that people can drive safely and not die on the roadways. All of these are primary focus applications. And what's really important to listen to when you come to this industry is not try to create a solution that you believe is the right solution without listening to the clients first, without listening to their needs and listening to their pain points, because they're going to be fully blank and open. It's like, this is what we need. This is what we want. This is what we solve for. They might not know what's available out there. And that's where we can go ahead and fill in the gaps with what is going on in the high tech world. But listening to their needs is going to be significantly, it's going to be crucial for your own success, both at a early stage company all the way to we see this happening with larger Fortune 500 companies that are coming in with a solution that they think that they can pitch to governments and just does not fit the need out there.
Yeah, definitely. And thanks for giving us like the advice as well, with saying, I really loved how you had summarized where, don't believe you have a solution without listening to the need of the agency. That really resonates as well, because it's like so many people put out their solutions, but it's like, you got to really understand where the agency is coming from in order being able to partner with them, to be able to help them be able to compound and move forward with that relationship and partnership at the end of the day. So, yeah. So Paul, we're at the end of our interview today, and I want to thank you so much for taking time to join us on the podcast, but I also want to give you the last word. If anyone were to forget about everything that we've talked about today in your interview, what is the one thing you want them to remember about your company overall?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And then thank you for the insightful questions. I really appreciated the time to chat. I would say really the biggest thing here is what Rekor is really trying to solve for, and what we're happy to always to help work with our clients for, is really looking at us as a design partner in a lot of different ways. We're not consultants. We're not here to help create new technology, new tools, but we've developed this best-in-class partner ecosystem out there in the industry. We have created technology that is bridging a lot of the needs from the different divisions within these agencies that has enabled us to really be a thought leader in helping agencies solve for their solutions. So we really want to make sure that our door is always open, and it already is for a lot of these partners out there, but really a door is always open to help solve for the problems that they need today, and see how technology and AI and data can be really at the core of the solutioning for a lot of the work that's happening in transportation today.
Yeah, definitely. And for anyone in our audience who is really interested, are they able to reach out to you on the website, going to contact us and be able to book a call to be able to see how this works and get more insights?
Yeah, for sure. So on our website, there's a lot of different pages, a lot of different call to actions. You can reach out to us, even to me directly on LinkedIn. I'd be happy to set up some time to chat. And we can also get all the right folks to be able to share our technology and listen to your needs directly from our website.
Awesome. Thank you again so much. And thank you as well for sharing with me about this industry overall. I learned a lot, and I have so many much more insights. So thank you again. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.